Hi, my name's Karen Quiros, and I am lucky enough to be the science resource teacher for the Chula Vista Elementary School District at the Living Coast Discovery Center. The Living Coast is a small environmental education center with sea turtles, sharks, snakes, eagles, and more, located in South Bay, San Diego. Today's experience is titled Terrific Tales, and we are going to focus on the terrific ways animals use their tails. This book, What Do You Do with a Tail Like This? By Steve Jenkins and Robin Page, is one of my favorites. It shows pictures of different animal body parts, and my kids loved guessing which body part was from which animal. This book has inspired me to focus on the way that animals use their structures throughout my live events this year. Today, the animal body part that I am highlighting is a tail. How many animals can you name that have a tail? Write as many as you can into the question and answer tab. I have my friends, Mr. Bruder, Ms. Bystrack, Ms. Hughes, and Mr. Ramirez helping me out today. They will be answering some questions right away, and I'll be answering others throughout the lesson. I'll check back later to find out all the animals that you can name that have a tail. You can also mention how you think the animal uses its tail as a bonus. We have three main objectives today. We are going to become zoologists and learn how different animals use their tails. We will also get to meet some of the Living Coast animal ambassadors and learn how they use their terrific tails. And finally, we will become a product engineer and create a product that works like an elephant's tail. We're going to take on two different careers today. Biology is the study of all types of life, and zoology focuses on animals. So zoologists study animals' behavior, structures, interactions with their environment, and much more. Later, we will take on the role of a product engineer as we build a product that works like the tails of some animals. A product engineer designs, develops, and enhances new and existing products. Sometimes they're inspired by nature, which is called biomimicry, and that was a focus of some of my previous live events. Tails come in all shapes, textures, and sizes. They can be short, long, furry, naked, or feathered. A giraffe has the longest tail of all animals on land, with a tail that is 8 feet long. But the blue whale has the longest tail of all animals, with a tail that is 25 feet long. Super impressive. There are many ways that animals use these tails. And today we're going to talk about 4 main ways first, and then look at some other unique ways specific animals use their tails too. The 4 main ways animals use their tails are for balance and movement, for warmth, for defense or attack, and for communication, especially communication that can be helpful in finding a mate. So let's start by talking about how animals use their tails for balance and movement. Animals can use their tails as another limb to help them as they jump, climb, and run from place to place. Snow leopards can leap up to 50 feet in one bound because of their strong legs and because of their tails for balance. If you've ever tried to walk on a line or something narrow, you probably have found that putting your arms out helps you to balance. Tails for animals kind of work like our arms do for us. Cats are great examples of using their tails for balance. They make walking along the top of a narrow fence look easy. Many animals use their tails to help them move or stop moving too. Animals that live in the water, like fish and marine mammals, use their tails to move forward or side to side. And there's also birds that use their tail, like when they land or take off, turn, and when they're even perching. Some animals can actually grab onto things to help them move, and these are called prehensile tails. We usually think of monkeys as having these kinds of tails, but there are many other animals that have them too, such as chameleons, skinks, opossums, salamanders, and even a type of fish, a seahorse, can use their tails almost like another hand. Now let's talk about how animals use their tails to keep warm. Fur helps them keep warm, like wearing a jacket, and a tail provides an extra layer of warmth. Wolves, coyotes, dogs, and cats curl up into a tight ball, and then they can wrap their tails around them. Animals with furry tails also might use their tail as a sort of shelter from the weather. Squirrels can hold them over their head and body when it's raining or snowing, kind of like an umbrella. And the giant anteater can use its huge tail as a blanket, but also as an umbrella for shade when it's hot. One of the most familiar ways animals can use their tails is to defend themselves or attack. You've probably heard that lizards can lose their tails and grow them back to defend themselves. If this happens, the part of the tail that comes off keeps moving to distract the predator, and then it allows the lizard to escape. Some tails can keep moving for hours after they detach. Animals also use their tails to defend themselves by using the spikes to hit predators or roll into a ball and protect their head with their tail. A scorpion and a stingray can use their tails to sting prey or defend themselves. Some animals use their tails to keep flies and mosquitoes and maybe other pests away. And we're going to talk more about this later when we become a product engineer. The last main way that animals that use their tails is for communication. Tails can show the emotions of an animal like a dog. The dog's tail can let us know when they're happy or scared, excited, or sad. Other animals give warning signals with their tails to show, like using colors or making sounds, or actually with a certain movement. Beavers can slap the water with their tails, deers can flash the white underside of their tail, and skunks raise their tails when they sense danger. This can warn fellow animals of danger or can warn that a stinky spray or a venomous bite is about to happen. Tails can also be used to communicate that they are a good mate. Peacock tails look impressive, and they can shake them to make a unique sound. Having vibrant colors and being strong enough to shake their tail well sends a message that they will be a good mate. We'll look at a couple more unique ways tails are used by animals in a bit, but now let's play a game to review the 4 main tail uses. I'm going to show you a picture of an animal with a tail and ask you what you think the animal uses it for. There are 4 options for your answer: balance and movement, warmth, defense attack, or communication. Ready? All right, here's the first one. What is the use of this tail? Do these opossums use it for balance and movement, warmth, defense attack, or communication? They're pretty cute, but what are they using their tail for? These are opossums, and they use their tails for movement or balance. They have prehensile tails that can grab onto a branch like this and help them to move or just hang out. Let's try another one. What is the use of this tail? Balance movement, warmth, defense attack, or communication? I think this picture is amazing. This squirrel is using its tail as a hood and a jacket in the snow. So if you said warmth, you are correct. Well done. Here's another. What is the use of this tail? Balance movement, warmth, defense attack, or communication? This is an impressive picture also. This is an armadillo lizard, and it uses its tail for defense. A predator wouldn't know where to bite. Everything is covered in hard plates, and there really isn't anything to grab onto when it holds its own tail in its mouth. Keep it up. Here's one more. What is the use of this tail? Balance and movement, warmth, defense attack, or communication? Wouldn't want to mess it with this one, right? This rattlesnake is saying, back off. You are making me feel threatened. It doesn't have to say anything, but if you hear the sound of a rattle, it's his warning to leave the animal alone or you might get bit. Fantastic. I think you are experts of the 4 main ways animals use their tails. And I think now might be a great time to check in and see what animals you were able to name that have tails. I wonder if you mentioned some of the ones that I've shown. Mr. Bruder, can you please share some of the names of the tailed animals and if anyone mentioned what they were used for?
Hey, Mrs. Q, we have a bunch of responses. We had Mrs. Vinland's sixth graders shared how chameleons hang upside down with their tail. Kangaroos use their tail to help them stand up. Uh, we had Ava from Parkview share a whole bunch of different animals like a cat, a dog, a raccoon, elephant. We also had a bunch of other attendees share different animals like dogs, cats, lions, iguanas. So lots of different animals being thought of out there.
Great ones. There are so many animals with tails. I'm impressed with how many you've already named and how maybe they can be used also, you mentioned as well with the chameleon. You're already great zoologists. I'm so impressed. Keep them coming in. I think it's time right now to bring out some of our friends here at the Living Coast Discovery Center to show you their terrific tails. The first critter uses its tail to move, but it also uses it for something that we haven't mentioned yet. So I'm going to switch over to my dot cam so I can show you a crayfish. So this is a crayfish, and I want you to notice that if I put my hand in here and I put it kind of in front and kind of go for him, he can actually push his tail down. Whoa, did you see it? And he shot backwards. So if I am able to pick him up though, there we go. You can see how he is going to make himself look really big and scary, kind of using those calipeds to wave his arms and scare away those predators, definitely. Now, in order to get away from those predators, he's looking really scary, but if he gets kind of scared and he needs an escape path, he can just tuck that tail and shoot backwards. So he has kind of defense in the front and then an escape path with its tail in the back. Now, I also have another crayfish here, and this one, I want to show you something special on how it uses its tail. So this crayfish is actually buried, which means that she has eggs. So if I put my camera this way, you can actually see under her tail, there are a bunch of little dots, and those are eggs. So the babies are inside growing, and she can actually move her swimmerettes to make sure that oxygen gets to the eggs as they are growing. So that's another way. She has about 100 to 200 eggs hooked onto her swimmerettes there. And eventually they'll be able to come off and be able to move around on their own. Now I have a quick video to actually show you that they can move their tail and be able to get to their oxygen. So check this out. So see how the crayfish is constantly moving her swimmerettes to hold the eggs? This makes sure that the eggs are getting enough oxygen from the water as the babies are growing inside. Now here, the babies have hatched, and there's about 100 babies still holding on to those swimmerettes for protection. And they can also get pieces of food that float around them as the mother's eating as well. So eventually they'll come off the swimmerettes and be able to move around on their own. So crayfish can use their tails for a quick escape backwards and to carry and protect their eggs and babies. I have another animal here from the Living Coast who has an impressive tail too. And this is Barbosa, and he is a Goliath gecko, leopard gecko. He's about 7 years old, and he's one of our newest animal ambassadors. They are usually nocturnal, so he might be a little sleepy right now because he's used to sleeping during the day. Now, I want to turn him around so you can see his tail a little bit better. It's huge, and this is actually a sign of a very healthy leopard gecko. Some animals, like a gecko and an alligator, can store food as extra fat in their tails, and they can go for long periods of time without eating if necessary. An alligator has been known to go for 2 years without eating if they have enough stored in their tail. A leopard gecko can't go that long, but it can definitely last about 2 to 3 months without eating. But it's not good for these animals to go without food, so it only happens in extreme conditions. Okay, we just learned another way that animals can use their tails as extra food storage. Now, Barbosa actually has another way of using its tail, and I want to highlight, And like other lizards, he can lose his tail and also regrow it. However, I want you to look at kind of his body shape here. Do you notice that his head and a tail look very similar? This is an extra layer of protection. If a predator is ready to attack, the leopard geckos have been known to move their tails and shake them a little bit to trick the predator into thinking that it's their head instead of their tail. Then when the predator grabs the tail, it breaks off and keeps moving as the gecko escapes. Sometimes the gecko might actually come back and be able to eat the tail that it dropped to gain much needed energy to grow a new tail back. So geckos use their tails to store extra food, and they also help them to survive because it looks similar to their head and can confuse predators. Thanks, Barbosa, for helping us learn about your terrific tail. So many terrific tails and ways to use them. Now we're going to focus on one of the tail uses that is exceptionally helpful during the summer. Here in San Diego and Chula Vista, we are lucky to have great weather, especially this time of year. It's nice to gather with friends and family and have a meal outside. Bayside Park is one of my favorite places to go and meet up with friends. Where are some of your favorite places to go and hang outside with your family and friends? I would love to know about them. We're back in school, but it's still summer, so we could all use some suggestions of nice places to be outside. So please write your answers and ideas into the question and answer section, and I'll check back in soon to hear them. Now, there are so many places to visit in San Diego and Chula Vista. However, there's just one problem. When we have food outside, the flies and the other bugs think our food smells delicious too. But if you remember from earlier, one of the ways some animals use their tails is to shoo away bugs. So scientists from the Georgia Institute of Technology took a closer look at exactly how the animals keep the bugs away. And these scientists studied elephants, zebras, and giraffes, and they learned that these animals use two different motions, a swish and a swat, to keep the flies away. The swish keeps most of the bugs away, but then they can swat those that still do find a way to land on their skin. The swishing motion is mostly controlled by the top of the tail, and the swatting motion uses both the top and the bottom part of the tail. They also found that the speed of the tail actually matches the speed of a mosquito. They both move around 2 miles per hour. They found that moving their tail faster would keep flies away even more, but it also takes up a lot more energy. So moving it at the same speed provides the most protection using the least amount of energy. There's actually a product that people have created that has the same use as an animal's tail. This product uses the swishing motion to keep flies away from our food, and it's called a fly fan. It can be placed on a table next to food, and the two soft blades continuously move to scare the flies away. I think all of us could use one of these to take to our next picnic, so we're going to go ahead and become product engineers and build one together right now. Remember, product engineers design, develop, and enhance new and existing products. So after we build it, I'm sure you're going to have some great ideas on how to improve it as well. Here are the materials that you will need to build our fly fan. 1 empty water bottle, 1 large paper clip. We're going to also need a piece of cardboard, scissors, 2 beads, a thicker rubber band if possible, any rubber band is fine, a ballpoint pen, and either 4 popsicle sticks or 4 tongue depressors. So go ahead and make sure you have all your materials ready if you're going to build with me today. If you don't have them now, it's okay. You can just follow along and then you can watch again later and build then. Ready? All right, so this is what we're going to make. Let's go ahead and build. I'm going to switch over to my dot cam so that we can build together. Excellent. Looking good. All right, so we're going to start by building the base of our fan using 2 of our popsicle sticks first. So please grab your popsicle sticks or your tongue depressors, and we're going to put them into a plus sign like this. And we want it to stay like that, so we're going to take a piece of tape. And please go ahead and make it stick onto your tape like this or onto the popsicle sticks. And you can also flip it over and put another piece of tape just for extra reinforcement here. All right, so we have our base of our fan and we'll be putting it together momentarily. So I'm just going to put it to the side right now. Excellent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be making the blade of our fan that spins around. Now, if you already have a strip of cardboard that looks like this and 2 squares, you're just going to hang out for a little bit while the rest of us kind of get to this point. This is what we're going to create. If you don't have that and you have just one piece of cardboard that looks like this, you can also kind of hang out because this is what we're going to do as our kind of second step. But if you just have kind of a regular piece of cardboard, I'm going to show you how we're going to be able to get it to be the size of this. So if you have this or the other option, just hold on for a moment and we'll get there with you in just a second. So if you have just a regular cardboard piece, we're going to use our water bottle to measure to the size that we need. So it should be a little bit bigger than our water bottle. So I put the water bottle kind of right up against the cardboard at the end. And then just about this much further, you're going to be able to make a mark right about here. So maybe this much more than the top of your water bottle. And then we're going to also make it about as wide as our water bottle. So we're going to also make a mark right here on our, there we go, cardboard as well. So if you've made those 2 marks, now you can kind of just draw it out this way and draw it up this way. And that is the amount of cardboard that we're going to be needing for our biplane. So let's go ahead and cut that out. Excellent. Keep it up. Right there. And right about here. Perfect. Okay, so now we have the shape that some of you might have already had that, okay? And so now if you're there, you can go ahead and join in with us. If you already have your blade and the 2 squares, just hold on a little bit longer. So for this, we're going to actually cut it in half. So we're going to take our scissors and just cut this piece right down the middle long ways in half. And one of these pieces is going to be our fan blade, and the other one we're going to make into those 2 squares. So if I take this one, I can go ahead and put it right on top, kind of like in an L. And I can take my pen to be able to mark right along here. And look, that gives me a square that I can then cut out. That's 1. And then I'm going to do it again to give me 2 squares. Just like this. Be able to cut that as well. Right. So everyone should be ready now with their blade and 2 squares and our base are all together. Excellent. Now we're going to take those 2 squares and we're going to stack them on top of each other. And we're going to make the middle part of our fan by taping them together. So go ahead and take a piece of tape. I like to kind of put it on one side here. So remember, these are our 2. We're going to put them together. Be able to wrap it around like that on one side and then on the other side too. Great. Our square taped together. So we have our blade, we have our base, and we have the middle part of our fan. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be making kind of that middle part, and we're going to be putting a hole into the top of our cardboard squares right in the middle and the blade as well. So if you take your pen, we're going to go ahead and go kind of in the middle here and just poke a little bit right on through, make a hole. And if you make sure there's something underneath your table so you're not drawing on it, maybe you can use some of the extra cardboard if needed. We're going to poke a hole right through the middle there. And then if you turn it over, you can kind of feel that bump and be able to poke it right on through again. So you're going to be able to make that hole all the way through your cardboard. You don't want to make it too big all the way through the top, so just kind of the end of that, because we're going to be using it to be able to make our fan blade go right on through that, or the spinner to go through it. Okay, so we got that. And then we're also going to make a little hole right in the middle of our cardboard squares as well. So you're going to poke right on through. This one's too thick, so we have to go a little bit more. Yes, and then you're going to come on through so that we can wiggle, 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 and get that hole through both of those pieces of cardboard. There we go. So we've got our holes through our fan blade and through our middle part. Now we need to take our paper clip, because we're going to go ahead and make the spinner part of our fan. Now, if you already have your paper clip all unwound like this, just hold on for a minute. If you just have a regular paper clip, we're going to go ahead and unwind actually just 2 of the bends. So the first bend we're going to make straight like this, and then we're going to unwind it one more time so that we have a hook on one end, just like this, and then the straight all the way on the other end. If you had a completely straight one, we're going to go ahead and have you bend kind of that last little bend so that you get a hook in your paper clips. We're going to go ahead and bend that last little piece there so that you can have a hook on one side and straight on the other. But you only need one, right? So we have our hook and our straight piece. Excellent. All right, so I think we are almost ready to put it together, but we do need to go ahead and reinforce the blade part. So we're going to take those other 2 popsicle sticks or tongue depressors, and we're going to put them right next to each other on either side of the hole on our blade here. And we want to still be able to we're going to poke this paper clip through that hole. So you want to have them as close together, but still be able to fit that paper clip through. So with a piece of tape, you can kind of make sure that they are as close together as possible. And then put a piece of tape, wrap it around so it'll stay nicely. And I like to put another piece of tape on the other end as well. Still want to have that hole in the middle so that we can put the paper clip through it. Okay. All right. One more thing and we're ready to assemble. So go ahead and grab your water bottle again. And what we're going to do, this is going to be the kind of body part of our fan, is we're going to cut off just the very bottom part of the water bottle. Now I want you to be really, really careful with this. And I want you to kind of squish or pinch the water bottle and be able to kind of cut a little snip in it. Okay, so you don't use your scissor to kind of poke a hole, just kind of pinch it and then cut a little snip in it. And that will make a hole that then you can carefully stick your scissors into. And then we're going to just cut all the way around. It's kind of nice to follow if you have lines on your water bottle. Kind of nice to follow one of the lines so that you cut a nice flat bottom to your fan. We're going to cut off the bottom of it, straighten it out, and then it should hopefully stand up. Excellent. All right, so I think we are ready to assemble our fan. We're almost there. So for this, we're going to need our beads and our rubber band as well. So please go ahead and take your paper clip that has the hook on one side and straight on the other, and you're going to put it through our hole in our 2 squares. Okay, feed it on through that. And then we're going to take our 2 beads, so 1 bead, and feed it onto, oops, looks like my dot cam just froze. So let me go ahead and go on over and get it back for us. Okay, excellent. We're back. All right, so then you got to put 1 bead on, and then you're going to go ahead and take the other bead, be able to slide it right on top as well. And then we take our blade and we're going to put it right through the middle hole there and stick it on through. Okay, so we have our square, 2 beads, and it goes straight through our fan blade. Now on the top, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this as a right angle. So we're going to kind of make a bend in it so that it can lay flat on the top of our cardboard, but the bottom part is going to come out straight. So we're going to make a right angle with our paper clip. So the top part, you're going to just bend flat so it lays on top of the cardboard, and the bottom piece is still going to come out straight on the bottom. And then we want to tape it on to the top to make it secure. Let's tape this right on the top of our blade here. Excellent. So we have our blade, we have it coming straight kind of out at the bottom here, the beads, and then we have our square. Now you're going to grab your rubber bands, and we're going to put that rubber band onto the hook at the bottom of our paper clip. Okay. And with this, we're going to grab it, we're going to take our water bottle, and we're going to put that rubber band into our water bottle's top. And make sure it stays on that hook. So we're going to kind of lean it up and feed it, and then push the paper clip into the water bottle. And when you do this, you're going to see that the rubber band is going inside. I'm going to pull it out down at the bottom here. So pull your rubber band beyond this and just kind of hold it with your hand and put it around your hand like this so it stays out the bottom. If it was already kind of dangling out of the bottom, it's okay. Just wrap it around your hand just like this. Let's see if I can turn this on less. Oh, there's not really less glare. All right, so you got it there. And then our final assembly is to take the blade. I just take this away. It might be easier, right? So bright. And then we're going to go ahead and put the end, we're going to take it over. We're going to stick the end of the paper clip or the popsicle stick and move it all the way to the middle. And that is going to be the blade. Let me get this better here. There we go. You can see, so let me do that again. So the rubber band you had around your arm, you're going to just take one end of our base of our popsicle sticks, and we're going to push it and wrap the rubber band around. If it's not very tight, you can kind of do a twist and be able to kind of go around that popsicle again and bring it all the way to the middle so that now the plus of the popsicle sticks is right in the middle of the bottom of your water bottle, just like that. And then you can turn it over and it should stand up pretty well. If not, you can give it a little bit of help stand up. It's okay if it doesn't quite perfect. You can hold it. All right, we have one more step, and then we're going to see if we can make it go. So we're going to take another piece of tape because we want our square to be kind of right in the middle of the top of our water bottle. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on the top of this square right here and tape it to the water bottle on one side, making sure that the paper clip is right in the middle of your water bottle. Tape it on this side, all the way down to that. So now, secure. And we are ready to test out our fan. So now what you want to do is just kind of make sure everything's a little bit straight. And then we're going to start winding up our fan. By moving the blade, you're going to take your hands and you're going to fingers just kind of start winding it. I'm going to shift mine a little bit so it's a little bit more flat. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and start winding it up. So take your finger and spin it around, but make sure you're holding the base so that it's not moving. So you want to hold that base down, and you should start to see the rubber band twisting inside of your water bottle, right? So your rubber band is twisting right here. And we're going to keep twisting. That's really important to get it really, really twisted. All right, I think we're ready. So I'm going to count to 3 and then we'll all let go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, let go. Woohoo! Look at it go. It's going to keep those flies away from my chips. Absolutely. Well done. You did it. We made our fly fan. I'm so impressed. Well done. So we are now going to get to test our knowledge. But before that, you have any improvements as you were making this, you can definitely put them into the question and answer section. Also, if yours was having trouble kind of spinning, try winding it up a little bit more. You can make sure that the base is kind of centered on it and you're holding the base tightly, and also that those beads are kind of right on top of each other. So I'm so excited to hopefully see some of the pictures of you building and your results. So put in your improvements into that question and answer section. And we're going to move on to our Kahoot. It's time for us to see how much you've learned today. And so you're going to please open a separate window to play this game. You're going to go to kahoot.it, and this is the code that you want to enter in order to play along. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our Kahoot so we can see everyone joining in here. Fuzzy Chicken's the first one in, well done. And we'll get some more joining soon. So while we're waiting for you to join, Mr. Bruder, would it be great to hear maybe some of the places that people mentioned about where they want to go meet up with friends and family outside, and if anyone has any improvement ideas for their fly fan.
Sure, Mrs. Q. There were some really cool places mentioned. Our second grade friends from Olympic View, they had mentioned Sunset View Park, which I believe is over by their school.
Excellent, great one.
We also had a few people share some places around San Diego, like Balboa Park, Seaport Village, one of my favorites.
Definitely. Oh, such great places. We're so lucky to have them nearby.
Mrs. Barton's first and second grade class mentioned parks, the zoo, and the beach.
Oh, so many different beaches, yeah.
I know we did have a third grade class that shared with us their favorite, I think their favorite beach, Coronado Beach.
Oh,
we also have, yes, definitely one of my favorites too. Mrs. Escobar's fourth graders shared Imperial Beach, Silverwing Park as well.
Parks and beaches, oh, we have so lucky to have so many.
I know another person shared Coronado's Dog Beach.
Oh, and you can take your animals out and visit as well. Absolutely. I know just hanging out in my backyard or kind of just around the neighborhood is really awesome also, to be able to kind of meet up with friends. We're super lucky. Did anyone have any suggestions about their fan?
Not quite yet.
I think they're turnaround.
I think they're all typing in the game pin for the Kahoot.
I think they are, absolutely. Do we have any more tales you want to share as well from earlier?
You know what? There were a bunch that were mentioned, but I think I don't know if I left out. Someone shared a bunny, a zebra, a camel.
A camel, yeah, absolutely. That's one that would actually kind of shoo flies away for sure also.
I believe a raccoon was mentioned as well.
Excellent one.
I think one that I didn't share earlier was Mrs. Vinland's sixth graders shared how kangaroos use their tails to help them stand. So for balance.
They can. And when they hop, they can actually hop up to 25 feet with just one bounce with their tail. That's a really impressive tail for sure as a kangaroo.
Wow, I did not know that. Another one was a lemur's tail.
Oh,
for camouflage.
Mm-hmm. They're great. They're so fun to look at. And then squirrels actually use one of my favorite things about squirrels is when out on the living coast, when we're out on the trail, when they're running, the squirrels will flick their tails, kind of not just like hold them up, but they're actually like move them this way and then move them this way and up. And so that's actually to distract the predator as they're moving. They can actually flick their tail and the predator's like, oh, they're going this way. Oh, they're going this way. Oh, nope, they're going this way. So it slows down the predator as the squirrel can get away. So I think that's another cool use of tails as well.
I know you mentioned earlier that you liked Bayside Park, and I see a few of our friends are still getting in the Kahoot, so I want to give them a little bit more time.
Okay.
What is your absolute favorite outdoor park to go to in San Diego?
Oh, I mean, Balboa Park has so much to offer. I mean, that's pretty amazing. But, you know, I just have like a neighborhood. San Carlos is kind of up in my area, and that's a pretty awesome park. But Balboa Park in general, there's just so much to do there and so much open space. I think that would probably be my ultimate place, especially when like people come from out of town and you want to show them something amazing. That's a great place, definitely. And hopefully everyone, oh, I forgot to show you. I actually got so excited about the fly fan that I bought one. So let me turn it on so you guys can see, look. So I can put this right next to my chip bowl and it just continuously, you know, keeps the flies away. If I want to grab some chips, I put my hand in and it kind of stops for a moment, doesn't hurt me or anything. And then it just keeps going and keeps the flies away. So I'm excited to try it out and I'll be up for going to a lot of these places. Maybe this weekend I can try out some of those new suggestions that you just made. Be awesome to have a picnic this weekend.
Definitely. Well, we have around 250 participants in our Kahoot game, so I think they're ready to get going.
Excellent. Let's do it. Fantastic. Here we go. All right. Our terrific tales. In 3, 2, and 1. First question, what is a person called who studies animals? What is a person called who studies animals? Is this a red triangle, product engineer, blue diamond, zoologist, yellow circle, geologist, or green square, archaeologist? What is a person called who studies animals? Red triangle, product engineer, blue diamond, zoologist, yellow circle, geologist, or green square, archaeologist? Remember what we talked about in the beginning. We got to learn about Barbosa and we got to learn about crayfish and all these animals that use their tails in very special ways. So what is a person called who studies animals? Red triangle, product engineer, blue diamond, zoologist, yellow circle, geologist, or green square, archaeologist? Get your answers in. Woohoo! Zoologist is correct. You rocked it. Well done. And we have, oh my goodness, Power Dingo at 990 points, Lucky Griffin, and Sturdy Wildcat, Majestic Dog, and Cute Ant. Well done, everyone. Keep it up. Here's our next question. What is the use of a red panda's tail? So look at this picture. What do you think this red panda is using its tail for? Is it for red triangle, balance movement? Is it for blue diamond, warmth? Is it for yellow circle, defense or attack? Or is it for green square, communication? What is this red panda using its tail for? Is it for red triangle, balance movement, blue diamond, warmth, yellow circle, defense, attack, or green square, communication? I bet I have a lot of red panda fans. I know my son is definitely a big fan of red pandas. And what is this red panda using its tail for? About 10 more seconds. Get your answers in. Red triangle is balance, blue diamond, warmth, yellow circle, defense, attack, and green square, communication. Yes! Well done. Warmth is absolutely correct. So fuzzy and cuddly. I definitely would love to be cuddling up with a red panda if it would let me. Majestic Dog, well done. Expert Pelican, Cute Ant painted their Power Dingo, and Sturdy Wildcat. Keep it up, everyone. You're rocking it. What is one of the special ways a leopard gecko uses its tail? So remember Barbosa. So what is one of the special ways that a leopard gecko can use its tail? To store extra food or fat is the red triangle. Blue diamond is for warmth. Yellow circle, attack. Or green square to hang from trees. What is one of the special ways that a leopard gecko can use its tail? To store extra fat or food, for warmth, to attack, or to hang from trees? What can this leopard gecko, think about Barbosa, what was a special thing that he can do with his tail? Red triangle, store extra fat or food. Blue diamond, warmth. Yellow circle, attack. Or green square, hang in trees. Get those answers in. 2 seconds. Woohoo! Oh my goodness, you're doing so well with this. Absolutely, to store extra food with that big, thick tail. He was a very healthy leopard gecko. Okay, who's in for, wow, decisive bear coming out of nowhere. Well done, power dingo, cute ant, hero dove, and expert pelican. Let's go. Next question. Elephants can get rid of flies with their tail by using what two motions? Swish and swat is red triangle, blue diamond, wave and bend, yellow circle, fold and sway, or green square, bat and flick. What were the two motions that elephants can get rid of, use their tail to get rid of flies? Or what did those researchers find out? They found out that elephants can be able to get rid of flies by using their tails with what two motions? Red triangle, swish and swat. Wave and bend is a blue diamond. Yellow circle, fold and sway, or green square, bat and flick. What do you think? 10 more seconds. Swish and swat, wave and bend, fold and sway, or bat and flick. You remember? Yes, you do. Well done. Swish and swat. Very good. And we made the swishing one. Decisive bears hanging in there. Expert pelican, you're back up to second excellent. Cute ant, power dingo, and wise tiger. Well done. All right, last question. Here goes. What did we use to make the fly fan propeller blade move? What part actually made our fan move? Was it the red triangle string, blue diamond balloon, yellow circle popsicle stick, or green square a rubber band? What was the part of our fan that actually made it move? Red triangle string, blue diamond balloon, yellow circle popsicle stick, or green square rubber band? String, balloon, popsicle stick, or rubber band. When we wound up our fan, here it is. What is actually making it spin? First, we got to wind it up really up, huh? Let's see how I can make it. All right, get your answers in. And a rubber band, hooray, that's what twisted up and then it unwound to actually make the blade go. All right, how'd you do? So in third place, Hero Dove, fantastic, well done. And in second place, Cute Ant. And first place, dun, da, 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 we have Power Dingo. Well done, all of you. Runners up were Polite Turtle and Charming. I can't see the actual name, but well done, everyone. I'm so impressed. You have followed along and learned so much about these awesome tales. Now, I hope you enjoyed meeting Barbosa and our crayfish today and learning about their terrific tales. If you want to see more of our animal ambassadors at the Living Coast, check out my Creature Close-Ups with Mrs. Q YouTube playlist. The link is being put into the question and answer section now. Also, the Living Coast is open Wednesday through Sunday now, so you can come and see our animal ambassadors in person. If you've missed any of our live events or if you'd like to see them again, please visit our Innovation YouTube channel. You will find all of our previous live events and other awesome resources from the members of our innovation team. The link's being posted in the question and answer section again. And exciting news, in 2 weeks on August 12th, our new Innovation Station teacher, Ms. Lopez, will be presenting her live event titled Positive Rewards. This will be a hands-on interactive experience, so don't miss it. Thanks so much for attending. Bye for now.